Hello everybody, welcome in. It's Laura from Tenacious Taurus Twin Flame Tarot, and this is going to be a twin flame message. We're going to talk about the channelings that came through when it comes to this full moon in Gemini on Monday, November the 27th. And so we have a full moon in Gemini, and it is taking place at 4 degrees orb 51. The full moon in Gemini is also going to be opposing Mars in Sagittarius. It's going to be squaring it up with Saturn in Pisces. It's going to be trine Pluto in Capricorn, and it's going to be sextile the 10th house, the midhaven. And so along with the full moon in Gemini, we also have Mercury forming a square to Neptune 4 hours after the exact placement of the full moon. And so I sat with all of these energies for a couple of hours this morning, automatically channeling what I feel is coming through. And so let's go through this breakdown of what we can expect over the coming days with the full moon in Gemini, although many of us are already feeling the duality of the twins. And so I do feel this full moon is bringing forward a new understanding of our conscious existence. I feel many of the masculines are being asked to find their reasoning and to restructure order in their lives using this intelligent evaluation. Many of the masculines are learning how to properly harness their potential, and this energy is necessary for creation and for successful completion of these twin flame unions. And so I do feel a lot of the masculines might be facing some legal dealings when it comes to the justice, the karmic justice that is playing out, in order for the masculines to shift their thoughts, their perceptions of reality. And so I do feel we're going to be up against a lot of disagreements and hostilities. I feel the masculines are like on high alert. They're on guard. I do feel they're getting ready to take some very harsh actions when it comes to that karmic rivalry, when it comes to all of these injustices that are going to be corrected in this full moon energy. And so the masculine is tapping into that spiritual warrior, or that 9 of Wands energy, the wounded healer. And they are learning to fight for what is right and what is true. And I think they're also learning to listen very carefully to their own inner guidance and their intuition, so they can follow that intuition to where it is guiding them to go towards. And so I do feel this is the energy of atonement. Atonement for the karmic love affairs. I feel the masculines are learning what truth truly means to be embodied when it comes to faithfulness. And so we are at a pivot point when it comes to freedom from codependencies. And I feel the masculines are breaking free from that dependence on the illusory material world. And so I feel a lot of the masculines are going through an awakening of this truth that lies like deep within their heart, within their soul. 333 on the timer when I looked up. And so a lot of these masculines are learning to become a mystic. And a lot of the times we go through this processing through a major material loss. And so it could be money, it could be a person, it could be a job, anything in the physical world that has kept the masculines in a state of illusions. And so any losses during this very karmic time period is to help us all become more one with the oneness of the cosmic energies. And so there's going to be a lot of unforeseen sudden events and shakeups over the coming days. And I do feel the cosmic intention with this full moon is to kind of overthrow or eliminate any existing false foundations or false conditioning or false relationships. And so there is going to be losses and setbacks, especially if you are in some type of karmic cycle. There could be even some type of scandal playing out when it comes to any selfish motivations over the coming days. And this could even lead to possible bankruptcies or imprisonments. I know the energy is just crazy. I was up at like 4:30 this morning. I decided to go sit outside. I always like to sit outside with my coffee because I got like the full moon is right above my doorway, and you can actually see Jupiter aligning with the full moon. And I just love reveling in that sight and in those energies every morning. And so I do feel like the energy is just wild because I was outside, sitting outside. And what I thought I heard was like somebody turning into a werewolf, and I'm not making light of it, but there was somebody tweaking out on something outside on my street, and he was just losing it. It sounded like a werewolf coming out of this person, right? And that's kind of what full moons do. They kind of bring out the ugly in a lot of people. And so I do feel there's a lot of deception being exposed, and there's going to be a lot of chaotic trouble when it comes to matters of the heart, especially where we have misplaced love in our lives, which can lead to a lot of major heartbreaks and disappointments over the coming days. And so I do feel there's going to be a lot of separations in the karmic contracts, and I do feel the masculine is right up in those emotions, and this is breaking down the energy of pride. And so the energy is very intense, but at the same time, this intensity is bringing forward illumination, right? Full moons are all about shining the light, illuminating all of these insights, bring forward revelations. And I do feel there's like this obsessive ownership when it comes to a power struggle dynamic between the karmic and the masculine, because a lot of the karmics feel like they own the masculine, and it's spiraling into a lot of vengeful, obsessive tendencies is what the energy is feeling like. And so with the moon also opposing Mars, this is creating a separating degree of 2 degrees 44. And I was shown the High Priestess with the 4 of Cups. And so we're in this gestation period at this point in time as the masculine restores a sense of diplomacy in his life and gains all of this newfound esoteric self-knowledge. And so this gestation period is a period in which the masculine is learning to not fully assert himself, but to rather kind of await results. And so one of the biggest lessons for the feminine is mastering divine patience, right? Patience truly is a virtue. And so I feel the masculine is in this collection of all of these past experiences, this life and past lives. And they're in a very secretive energy, a secretive period when it comes to that karmic situation or relationship. And so a lot of the masculines are operating under the guise of secrecy as they kind of step into this unknown element of the void or the unknown. And so there's a lot of fluctuating states of emotions. Gemini is all about duality. I know it might feel like you're going crazy or a little bit bipolar over the coming days. You don't know if you're coming or you're going or back again. And so this is going to lead to a lot of strife, a lot of dissension, which is the fall energy, and a lot of disagreements, especially when it comes to parting of ways within these karmic contracts. And so we're at that divine why, right? The masculine can keep choosing strife or dissension and disagreements, or the masculine can choose peace, cooperation, ascension, and beauty, along with the coming together with the divine feminine. And so right now it kind of feels like we're teetering on this unclear path, right? The future right now is feeling very unclear as all of these kind of hidden energies are working to the surface, which might happen, you know, over the coming days or in a period over time. But I feel emotional memories right now is a prime motivation for any actions, whether they be karmic actions or pure intended actions. And so I do feel all of these memories of the feminine is the prime motivation for the masculine. And I feel the telepathic communication between the masculine and the feminine can be quite intense during this time period. So really try to tune in to the energy that is formulating in your mind, because we're going through a very karmic re-evaluation of our current circumstances, our current career, our life, our relationships. And so if you have been feeling disconnected and kind of closed off or closed in, this is a clear indication that you need to reestablish your priorities over the coming days and really get rooted in setting some worthwhile goals, right? So we don't just keep meandering through our lifetime. And so all of these karmic experiences that are playing out during this cosmic time period are going to really illuminate the missing link in your makeup where you keep filling a void from within. And so things are kind of happening in the physical reality, and many people in the collective are going to be reacting emotionally out of these wounds that have been unresolved or unintegrated within your own personal situation. And so the mind wants to contemplate all of the wounds. And so we can so easily get stuck in that Eight of Swords mindset of the wounds. And so, but this is where all of the answers are always going to be found within. And I felt very strong Cancer energy coming through, channeling that message. And so internally, this is where the mystical inner plane exists within our consciousness, is internally. And so many are extremely sensitive at this point in time to all of these light codes and vibrations saturating the collective. And this will, this is going to highlight how all of these people we're connected with, how they affect our energetic aura and our cosmic field, and what we need to kind of cut out of our lives. And so 1122, that's been a big sync for me for several weeks now, 1122. And we just walked through the 1122 portal, two very high vibration master numbers, master builders. The twins are here to be master builders. And so with the moon square Saturn, I was shown the Empress card with the Queen of Swords. And this is at a separating degree of 3 degrees 52. And so we're going through growth when it comes to our self-expression, divine feminine. I feel a lot of the feminines are really connected to that Jupiter energy, the Venus energy, Taurus, Libra, that Venusian feminine energy. And so we're going through massive periods of growth. We're really harnessing our self-expression. That's what the Queen of Swords upright does, is we harness that truth. We embody that truth, and we are the epitome of divine truth. And so that is what the Empress also is here to cultivate: self-love, growth, abundance. And so on the flip side of that, the lower vibration of 3 can bring forward a lot of separation anxiety, because so many people fear this change. And so I do feel meditation is going to be serving the divine feminine very well over the coming days leading into next weekend. And as the ancient saying goes, beware of your wishes, for you will surely get them. If you desire anything strongly enough, that desire will surely come to pass. And so, but this is the catch-22, right? Once it becomes a reality, what if you decide that you really don't even want it after all? And so really meditate on that. A lot of the feminines, we desire this union so strongly. We desire it. We know it's going to come to pass, and it feels like it never comes to pass. Well, what if the masculine were to be presented on your doorstep? What if you decided you didn't want it after all, right? And so there's always two sides to the coin when it comes to Gemini energy. There's always two sides to Gemini. And so the positive Gemini energy is going to represent growth, expansion, pleasure. And the negative connotation of the Gemini energy is feeling like very scattered energy, maybe overindulging in all areas of your life or certain areas of your life. And the negative connotation of Gemini is talking, gossip, and deceit, right? And so if we talk unnecessarily, then that presents a risk of a loss, right? Who wants to be around a gossip? That would also be like the Queen of Swords in reversed, a gossip, right? And so when we talk unnecessarily, when we're talking about other people, when we're slandering people, when we're gossiping about people, this produces a deep-seated wound of jealousy, which then spirals into states of loneliness, overreacting, states of excessively maybe drinking or excessive drug consumption. And all of these will have a disastrous result on the spiritual journey, because we're inviting these lower frequency energies into our auric field. And so when we play into excess of any kind, it makes it very hard to discriminate between what is true and what is false. And so this is where a lot of the karmics hook the masculine, is through these addictions. And so, and that's how they keep them stuck in these falsities. And so we do need to remember, though, any separations during this karmic time period, they will be permanent. And this is just part of the cycles of life. We can't have that new beginning without completing an ending and having a completion of the closing of the karmic cycle. And so changes and endings bring new opportunities, no matter how painful these endings are. We have to learn to break these familial patterns. We have to go through this experience of solitude like the hermit. We have to go through periods of loneliness and isolation to balance our energies, to balance what appears to be real and what is actually real. And so we're sifting through a lot of illusions. And with the moon trine Pluto at 6 degrees 25, creating that energy, this is the energy of the Lovers with the Knight of Wands. And what I have to say is, what goes around surely is going to come back around. What goes around always, always comes back around. We cannot escape this cosmic law. And so discrimination. The Lovers represents partnership, marriage, divine union, the union of the opposites, but with the complementary components. And so I was really drawn to Venus in Gemini energy. Venus in Gemini seeks to bring together a harmonious union. I'm a Venus in Gemini, by the way. And Gemini is representative of the twins. And so Venus energy gives the urge to create peace, love, and to create a comfortable environment. I also have Gemini in my 4th house. My Venus is in Gemini, sitting in my 4th house of family and deep roots, connected to the collective as well, which is connected to the twins. And so we want to create a loving, peaceful environment for our lives, with our family, with our friends. All Venus wants to do is create that very domicile, domestic lifestyle. And the highest priority of Venus in Gemini is peace. And so the divine feminine must first become aligned and equalized when it comes to the polarity between the counterparts. And we have to self-defer, right? And we have to do this in order to attain unity from within, before we can have that union with the counterpart. And so the divine masculine is always looking to the divine feminine. And only through this step-by-step ascension process that we go through can we reach that true source, right? The true source. And then we can draw all of our energies inward and contain that. And that is when the DF fully aligns. And when the DF aligns, that is what triggers the divine masculine into these states of conflict and these states of losing all of their energy and reserves. And so it feels like the job never gets done for the feminine. But I feel the masculine is in a state of deep unfulfillment. And he's likely being very cruel and hasty with his actions and his words. But I do feel a sudden decision is what came through. And this is going to necessitate a major change of residence. A lot of the masculines are needing to move or create some kind of movement in their life when it comes to this inertia and this stuckness. And I do feel there's going to be something coming up, whether it's a health condition, a financial condition, a job loss, or something is going to arise that will require immediate action to take place. And so this is the awakening, right? The awakening of the new life. And I feel the masculines are struggling because they've not met the promise of this connection with the feminine. With the moon forming a sextile to the midhaven or the 10th house, this is fated, destined things that are kind of playing out. So whatever happens now is fated and destined. And so I was shown the Emperor with the Hanged Man. And we are in this cosmic law of reversal. Reversal of the scales. This is fated shifts in perceptions and perspectives. And a big message that came through is you are what you alone have made of yourself. We all have to be self-made, right? You are what you alone have made of yourself. You have the power, you have the control. And so if you are dissatisfied in any areas of your life, then maybe it's time to sow the proper seeds to create that change. Change always is an inside job, right? We have to choose to create that change. And so we're at this pivot point of the beginning. The beginning is the place that we all have to start at. We all have to start at zero if we want to reap the results of our good efforts, right? Karma goes both ways. There's good karma, there's bad karma. So what are you putting out there into the world, right? And so the Hanged Man is like the alchemist. The Hanged Man knows how to harness divine power. I was connected to Jupiter and Neptune energy. It is Piscean energy as well. And so the Hanged Man is like the alchemist, and we go through this expansive higher education, higher downloads, in this mental expansion process of enlightenment when we're in the Hanged Man position, right? The Hanged Man goes through a period of enlightenment. And so illusions can only be destroyed by seeking true knowledge from within. And that's what the Hanged Man is being asked to do, right? And in order to seek the true knowledge from within, we also have to own our truth. And so with Mercury squaring it up with Neptune the day of the full moon, I was shown the Queen of Wands with the Page of Swords. I was also shown the Strength card with the Ace of Wands, and Temperance with the Five of Cups, and the Fool with the Strength card. And so this is all about sustenance, establishing sustenance within these new foundations. The truth is always going to surface. The truth always has a funny way of surfacing, right? And the truth always comes from within. And I do feel through this energy of wrath and rage, and so root chakra energy. And so we need all of these accumulated karmic experiences. We need these karmic relationship cycles because they allow us to learn how to temper ourselves, which would be the temperance, right? And when we temper ourselves, we're tempering ourselves into something more authentic. It's like the diamond under pressure. And so we're in a karmic period of necessary testing when it comes to these situationships. And so the Five of Cups is, where do we need to release all of these old friends that are no longer in alignment with the calling, right? And I feel a lot of the masculines are in a state of regretting all of the past mistakes. But regret is a great place to start when it comes to learning from the mistakes, right? Regret, shame, and guilt, they're wasted emotions, first off. They're negative, wasted emotions. They keep us stuck in a state of inertia. But we also need these emotions to be able to learn from them so we can fully move on from this emotional dissatisfaction. And so on the journey, there really can be no halfway measures. We can't do this journey halfway. We have to give it our all, right? And so when we accept responsibility, we can embrace spiritual freedom. And so I was shown like the fang of the serpent. And so I do feel, because of this karmic period, there is a lot of Kundalini rising with the serpent energy. And we do need to learn how to harness and direct this life force energy as we shift from subconscious motivations into conscious motivations. And so the Ace of Wands is like the hand of God saying, hey, it's time to birth these divine marriages. It's time to birth these divine unions. It's time to start this new cycle in the collective. And so the Fool is representative by Uranus, and we do have Uranus in Taurus, which is all about breaking apart these false belief systems and these false foundations. And so we are in this beautiful portal of unbound, untapped potential if we can find that pureness within our soul, within our spirit. And a choice will need to be made. So there's like two decisions, a fork in the road, right? The Lovers is always a choice between two. The Fool represents a choice between two. And so which path will the masculine take? One will lead the masculine to his calling and his true karmic path, and the other will lead the masculine to demise or the fall. And so we are on the precipice of massive states of transcendence. So let's pull in with some cards, guys. Let's see what else needs to come through with some cards. I'm going to use the, I think it's the Starseed deck. I think it is, yeah. I think the other deck I have is the Sisterhood of the Rose. Okay. The Golden Children. And we are the Golden Children, right? We are the 144,000, and then we get cracked open. So I do feel many are being cracked open. Many in the collective are hitting that rock bottom. And only then, when we hit that rock bottom, do we surrender to the alchemy of this transformation process. Usually you got to hit absolutely rock bottom before anybody decides to create real change in their lives. And so there's a lot of inner child healing taking place over the coming days. And we do need to be tender with ourselves, right? As we restore our spirit to a state of innocence. And so a lot of spiritual gifts are coming back online. And that's the alchemist energy as well with the Pisces. So let's see what else needs to come through for the twins. The kids are home and upstairs. So if you hear them, I'm really sorry, guys, okay? All right, the golden children came out again with the void. And so we do have to stop and embrace the void. The void is the place of creation. And we talked about the void energy in yesterday's video that I uploaded. If it was it yesterday? I don't remember. The days are kind of merging into one. But we're sitting in the great cosmic womb right now of creation. And on the bottom of the deck, we get baby steps with called and portal with earth school with the blue flame. And so there is going to be a lot of spontaneous awakenings over the coming days. A lot of the masculines are really encouraged to take action and to follow their intuition before it makes sense. Just follow it, right? Trust it. Go with it. Because a lot of the masculines have been called. It is time for the masculines to step up and to go through this activation and awakening. And I do feel it's integration time for the counterparts. And so we're learning some very painful life lessons, and we can't not learn these lessons. That's the part that we have to go through to experience this growth and expansion. And so study, higher learning, higher study. And so the doors are kind of wide open, but we do have to choose to walk through the portal. And so I feel right now a lot of people in the collective, it's like the veil's been lifted. People are questioning everything, their very existence, and basically anything that is not aligned with these unions must go. And so there's a lot being transmitted through these light code activations and light body activations. And so we are going to need to be very gentle with ourselves as the masculine goes through this twin flame recognition process. So I'm going to dig into the masculine first. Oh, look at that. The Four of Cups stayed on the table. I am using the Archangel Power Tarot cards. And below that is the Decision, which is the Devil card. And then the Nine of Michael. So I feel the masculines know it's time to find the magic in life again. A lot of them have been stuck in that Four of Cups energy. They are becoming aware of their emotions. And they need to release themselves of that contract that's been holding them back, right? The Devil's had a grip on the masculine. They've been doing that dance with the Devil. They need to detox. And I do feel the addictions is what's creating the lack of confidence and the unnecessary worry with the Nine of Michael, which would be the Nine of Swords. And so the masculines need to shift their focus on what it is that they do desire, right? And they're working on releasing feelings of regret, guilt, and worry. But I do feel they're going to go head to head with somebody this weekend because it is time to make a decision. And so I do feel they're going to have to leave somebody out in the cold, but there's that Hanged Man, there's that perspective shift, right? So let's keep going here. I heard a big crash upstairs. You might want to be careful. Crash and burn is what I heard. Crash and burn. So we're going to get a message for the Divine Masculine, and then we will pull in for the Feminine. I picked out a different deck for the Feminine. Okay, we got the Empress flipped out in reversed. And so that is where the masculine's been at. They've been overindulging with karmic. And I do feel this has really hindered their resources. It's prevented them from taking action. I also feel the karmic is holding on for dear life, right? The Four of Pentacles with the Empress reversed. And so they do not want to release their grip on the masculine. I do feel a lot of the karmics try to pretend like they're the divine feminine and that they receive all of these powerful insights. Oh, and the Fool just flipped out. And so the karmic is there to reflect the negative motivations, right? There's a lack of peace. There's a lack of information. There's so much resistance. The karmic is clinging, does not want this change. And so the karmics could have recently extremely spent all of the masculine's money. But I do feel the gig's up. The secret is out with the High Priestess reverse. Secrets coming out. The truth being revealed. And there's that leap of faith. Archangel Metatron. The masculine is needing to believe in himself, to listen to his heart, and to go after what brings him joy, which would be the wish fulfillment with the feminine. The 9 of Raphael, or the 9 of Cups, with the 8 of Wands, with the Queen of Raphael and the King of Cups. And that's the truth. The Ace of Swords. So I do feel, make a wish, right? Be careful what you wish for. You just might get it. But I do feel unions are manifesting in the physical reality. I think get ready for some unexpected, sudden communication about these unions, the King and Queen of Cups. And so the energy that the twins embody is kindness. We're kind, we're understanding, we're giving, we're psychic. That's the Queen of Cups. And the masculine wants to come forward and give that warm, generous, honorable connotation to the feminine. I feel the masculine is refining his emotions. I think he's learning to trust his emotions and his ability to accomplish closing this cycle out, even though a lot of things are happening all at once. They want to follow their creative passions. Divine feminine. The psychic information and downloads that you're receiving is trustworthy. And so I do feel there's going to be truth. There's going to be a lot of truth being spoken and the laying of a new foundation. The masculine knows there's so much to accomplish within these unions, within this karmic mission that the twins came here to accomplish. And so I think they're trying to figure out how to plan to come towards you, but they're being watched. They are being watched by the karmic. And so I think new ideas, new downloads, new perceptions, and any bumps in the road, the masculine's like, I'm not going to let you slow me down. Ain't nobody going to slow me down. And so I do feel the masculine is finding his determination to harness self-control and to be that interdependent person. And so I think the masculine just wants success. There's that Chariot energy, Cancer energy, like I felt. So let's pull in with the Guardian Angel Tarot cards for the feminine. Creating abundance and Messenger of emotion. And so that's the Page of Cups. And that's the Empress upright. So Divine Feminine, you are being called to action as well this full moon. It's time for you to do what it is that you truly came here to do and to come into the fullness of who you truly are authentically. And so it's time for creativity, for giving birth to these unions, maybe even a new project. Maybe it's going to be you and your counterpart conceiving a child together. I know a lot of the twins are here to conceive a child out of unconditional love if you're in your birthing ages. I know I'm all done having babies. But it's time to know that abundance and prosperity is being made manifest in your life. And then we get an apology here. And so we need to fully harness this energy, Divine Feminine. We are in the beginning stages of a brand new emotional experience. And it's going to grow into the deepest love that you have ever experienced. And so get ready to receive a message. I feel the masculine really wants to express his feelings. And we didn't even know how they felt about us, right? And so I do feel the masculine will soon be on his way to you. And I think he's coming in with a very gentle and loving energy and message. And he only has the kindest, purest intentions. And so, wow. Let's see what else needs to come through for the Divine Feminine for the full moon in Gemini. Messages for the feminine, please. Oh, that is way too many. I'm not taking that pile, but we will take these. Okay. Successful completion. This is the world. And when we get to the world, we've completed a cycle and we're ready to start a brand new cycle. We have the Sun card, positive recognition, and the Six of Thoughts. So the Six of Air. And so many of the feminines are reaching a time of accomplishment for sure. I feel just embrace the energy of joy. You are justified in feeling the energy of joy and abundance. I know I have felt this sense of completion over the coming days. It's like you've done a really amazing job, feminine, at clearing these old patterns and having faith in the process. And so I think very soon you will be blessed in so many areas of your life, whether it's insights, finances, love. I think right now, just take this energy, go into meditation and bask in the happiness of your dreams about to come true, because I do feel the sun is shining a light. It's like everything is going to work out perfectly. Everything always does have a funny way of working itself out. But I feel success is assured. Just be willing to keep expressing yourself openly and honestly, and knowing that the people that are being called into your auric field are going to be trustworthy. And so just get ready for an unexpected opportunity. I do feel peaceful times are around the corner. The worst is over. The storm has passed, divine feminine, and like your destination of union is like just there within grasp, within sight. And so allow any stresses in your life to fade away. If you're struggling with releasing any toxic habits, I know I'm like this close to completely being done with my nicotine addiction with cigarettes. I'm like 3/4 of the way through the book, Alan Carr's The Easy Way to Quit Smoking. And let me just tell you, like, mind-blowing. If that's an addiction that you've been struggling with, I know I've been struggling with this smoking addiction on and off for about the last 30 years of my life. And I can't wait to be completely free of that addiction. And so I just feel, allow the stresses to fade away. Let everything fall away at this point in time. Because you're on a spiritual journey and things are about to shift in a drastic way. Tower on the bottom of the deck with the masculine, with the Emperor on the bottom of the deck. And so what we see here is out with the old, in with the new. And so I do feel heaven is showing you that the masculine is coming straight towards you. He's planning. He's got his eyes on you. You're the target, and he's coming for you, divine feminine. And so I just feel release any feelings of lack when it comes to your purpose. I know a lot of us have felt like we've been meandering in this stuckness with a lot of the masculines lately. But I feel the masculine's getting a wake-up call. He's making the changes to match your vibration. And he's coming into a lot of spiritual truths. And so the helper of action, which would be the Page of Coins, the masculine wants a redo. He wants to start with a clean slate, is what I feel there. And then the Four of Action, the Four of Wands, twin flame union. And so your hard work, divine feminine, your sincere efforts have led you to a sense of safety within yourself, a sense of contentment. I know I'm financially secure and I'm feeling content. And so use this time period to maybe take a step back and take a bit of a break and just celebrate the wonderful event that is about to take place, because our love life is ascending. There could be an engagement or on the table, or a wedding ring, or maybe the birth of a child like I talked about, maybe purchasing a home together, because it's time for these unions to progress forward with the Eight of Wands. So both the Eight of Wands and then the Messenger of Action, the Page of Wands. And so there's something new and exciting coming after this full moon. I think get ready to take flight into lots of states of transcendence over the coming days. So happy news and forward motion is coming. So let's close off the reading with a twin flame oracle message. What else can we expect? Oh, the transits, definitely. Transits. These transits and these cosmic energies are pushing the masculine and supporting this movement forward. So don't give up hope. We get learning and study. Do not give up hope. Change is about to happen, and it's going to feel like it's going to happen in an instant. And so we are entering a time of higher learning, higher esoteric study. We're finding our passion for life again. So spend some time mastering your divine gifts. That allows the activation of your soul song. for the masculine to receive these galactic downloads. We are being saturated with solar flares and light code activations. So find your center, find your peace. Allow stillness to be the awareness that you need to have these answers, because balance and peace is what is around the corner for the twins. And that's what I have for a full moon in Gemini message today. I really hoped this helped. I hope this resonated. If you would like to book a personal or a soulmate reading with me, I encourage you to check out the description box below. And I do look forward to seeing you all again next time. Thank you.